Greetings, students. Today's topic of the day is Defects of Judicial System Committee Report and Regulating Act under the subject Legal History and Constitutional History, and this is meant for BLLB third sem students. Last class we discussed about the settlements of East India Company and how they developed the legal monumental foundations in India itself. And finally, we saw the development of Mayor's Court. But as they were developing the legal foundations in our country and settling from one place to another, obviously they had certain defects in the judicial system that they had developed on 1753. Certain defects were: number one, as the governor in council was appointing the judges were subservient and could not render justice when the EI company was a East India Company or EI company was a party. Number two, judges were not aware of civil and criminal law. Number three, the mayor and the others had private trade practices. Number four, jurisdiction was confined to presidency towns only. Hence, in Mofussil's, Englishmen could do injustice and escape. So these are the several disadvantages or these are the certain disadvantages that the judicial system suffered. The judges who were appointed were not aware about the civil and criminal law. The mayor and the other were much more inclined towards their private trade practices. And jurisdiction was very much confined to a certain place. By Mofusils, we mean the small cities, small towns where Englishmen could do anything and they could escape the justice. So, injustice was done by the Englishmen, but they could do whatever they wanted to because they were not confined under those existing laws. And these judges were appointed, since they had no knowledge about the civil and the criminal law, they could not render proper justice. So, proper justice were not being meted out. Now, let us look at the committee report of 1772. In 1772, the House of Commons in England appointed a committee which reported against the efficiency of Mayor's Court. The Regulating Act of 1774 passed by British Parliament replaced Mayor's Court with the Supreme Court of Judicature at Calcutta. This considered of professional lawyers appointed as judges by the Crown. Hence, the court became free from subordination of the company. Later, the Mayor's Court at Madras and Bombay were replaced by the Supreme Court. So, the importance of Regulating Act here it lies that the Mayor's Court was scratched off from the list and the Supreme Court of Judicature of Calcutta was established, where professional judges who had professional experience and knowledge regarding criminal and civil laws were appointed. So, this was one of the first steps where we tend to see where the administration and the judicial system the foundations of the judicial system was monumentally laid. Regulating Act of 1773. Regulating Act 1773, Supreme Court at Calcutta. Lord Clive had a decisive battle of Plassey in 1757. So, since we know in our history that the Battle of Plassey was fought in 1757 and Lord Clive had won the decisive battle. So, the whole Calcutta and gradually India came under the jurisdiction of the administration of the East India Company, and the Regulating Act was developed in 1773, and with the development of Regulating Act, Supreme Court was established in Calcutta. So after the Battle of Plassey in the year 1757, the East India Company became the supreme authority in Bengal. It kept the Nawab on the throne, but the Nawab failed vehemently. So there was no good administration, and the 1770 famine caused a huge financial crisis which added to more of a trouble. So let us understand in details the Regulating Act, its introduction, functions and scope, and the bodies of the forum. The Regulating Act was passed for the better management of the affairs of the company in India as well as at home. The aim was to prevent particularly various abuses of government and the administration. The Act provided for the appointment of governor, not general, and 4 councillors for the civil and military government and of the administration. Thirdly, the Act empowered the Crown to establish a charter of later, which was a patent of the Supreme Court of Judicature at Calcutta, consisting of Chief Justice and 3 other judges. Judges were appointed by the Crown. Only barristers with at least 5 years standing were appointed as a judge. The Supreme Court was to have power to exercise all civil, criminal, admiralty and ecclesiastical jurisdiction. The jurisdiction of the court was to extend to all British subjects, ending in Bengal and Orissa. The court was not competent to hear and determine any indictment against the Governor General and the Councillor except of treason and felony. The Supreme Court was to be the court of equity in England, in the legal sense of world. It was given full power to administer justice in a summarized manner, the rules and the proceedings of High Court of the Chancellery in Great Britain. Again, we tend to see this was made effective by the instrument given by the judges of the statutes of the judges of King's Bench of England, who could issue prerogative writs. Supreme Court was established at Calcutta under the Charter 1774 and Lord Impey was the Chief Justice. So finally, with the establishment and the introduction of Regulating Act, we see how the judicial system then developed monumentally with a proper positive and an affirmative fundamental process. Everything was developed structurally, proper judges were appointed, and men with proper legal bent of mind and knowledge was introduced into the legal domain of the administration of the East India Company. Proper Supreme Court was established where judges could issue writs, where judicial precedents were taken into account, and proper system or judicial system or legal system was introduced too. And lastly, we even tend to see that not only it was formed in an established manner underneath a charter, but even a Chief Justice was introduced, because Lord Elijah Impey, whose name is mentioned underneath underneath the paper, Lord Impey as the Chief Justice plays a very pivotal role here, because Impey was the person who had taken the first steps which finally in the later years goes on to be formed the civil laws that we tend to follow, and that was implemented by Lord Impey himself. So thank you class for today. This will be it. Thanks.